Hey, pal.
It's not possible. Welcome, true believers. It's me, G33, and I'm joined by.
This is Renegade. Back at it again. With no vans.
Yeah, we were gonna get the MCU skins out, but we couldn't find a nice location to do this Doomsday edition of Tank Talk, so we just had to stick with summer vibes and hope that when we get more stuff to do with Doomsday, we'll be able to, just like. We hope you enjoyed the little recreation of the Cap and Thor scene. The trailer, summarized, get it? Like summarized, as in like summer, but like also because we recreated it. Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna be talking about less rival things, more MCU things today, like X-Men '97, the Doomsday trailer. But we will get into what we think of the new map, the art style, the layout, but also from a gameplay standpoint. But yeah, what should we talk about? I feel like we should talk about the Doomsday trailer because it has been long awaited. We got to see X-Men with Avengers, new Avengers, old Avengers, Thor basically just telling everyone they're weak as shit in comparison, which if you've seen some of the memes, they're very good. Like
So do you
Thor's
reckon it's
reaction
going
is
to
so
be a
good.
massive... It's going to be like a trilogy or a saga or something like that? This is going to be like Avengers Doomsday Part 1, pretty much.
No,
Because
no,
they've
I
introduced
think
a lot of people. Or is the movie just going to be like 4.5 hours long?
no, I
Yeah,
think Doomsday is just going to be. So if we think about what's following Doomsday, it's Secret Wars. Doom's the main villain of Doomsday, and he's the key villain in Secret Wars. Because when they wrote the Secret Wars comic, there wasn't as much that they needed to set up. Like you'd already got characters like the Beyonder, like Miles Morales, and there's stuff in the MCU that's not included. Well, there's stuff in Secret Wars that's not included in the MCU. So I think Doomsday is their way around flesh out some of the narrative points of the comic, but adapted to fit in the MCU more. I think I was talking to Tweety on the group chat where it was like more about Miles Morales not being introduced into the MCU yet. And if they were introducing him into Brand New Day coming next week, it would kind of feel forced. Like Miles hasn't been Spider-Man for near enough as long as he had in Secret Wars. But however, we do have two Spider-Men that are really experienced and would be loved by the fans if they were to make an appearance either in Doomsday or Secret Wars, and that's Toby or Andrew.
I thought Miles' introduction to Marvel was that he was from another universe. He's not from the Ultimate Universe. That's his original.
They could do
universe.
that, but I don't think.
From that universe.
I don't think they create a new Spider-Man. I think they take from their Sonyverse just to give Sony a little bit more publicity. So we're talking either Miles from the Spider-Verse, but like kind of live action made. So like they get either the voice actor for Miles to play him in the live action, or even I don't think they do different iterations of Miles Morales for Secret Wars. I think they would just heavily rely on bringing either Toby or Andrew back for one last appearance, or maybe Toby for one last appearance, but Andrew for.
Yeah, you mean they probably just get rid of the Miles Morales altogether?
Yeah, they'd adapt it to fit. Yeah, especially with Tom Holland already kind of working with those Spider-Man in the past. But yeah, let's get into the trailer. So we start off with the X-Men mansion destroyed and the universe around them crumbling, or watching another universe be destroyed. This is kind of Marvel cleaning up what had came before, but also narrowing down. It's like a refinement process, kind of similar to what the Secret Wars comic did. Namor versus like Wakanda, so Atlantis versus Wakanda, BP and Namor going at it.
Xavier's school when we first see it. Do you reckon that's going to end up
destroyed.
being? No, yeah, but what do you reckon is destroying it?
Oh, Doom, 100%. Whoever's left there is the ones that survived. So you got Cyclops, Gambit, Professor X, Magneto, but you're not seeing any. You got Mystique as well, but we're not seeing like everyone there. There's no Wolverine. There's no Phoenix. However, this brings me into the next point. If we go back to Wakanda versus Atlantis, Black Panther and Namor, they were trying to kill each other during the start of the Secret Wars comic. Cyclops gets the Phoenix Force in the Secret Wars comics. So maybe that's something that we're going to see from the old Cyclops, and especially with him wearing is official superhero fit. This is the first time we've ever seen Cyclops in a comic book accurate costume. Fantastic Four meet Wakanda. But yeah, this is definitely going to be the last time we see
That was from one of
Magneto and Professor X.
the bit
Yep.
where the Fantastic Four talking to Wakanda, they meet with the Wakandans. That was from one of the short
Yeah.
clips that they brought out, like a preview. They brought out loads
Yeah,
of
you know,
different
I really
previews.
remember. Chris Evans or Captain America will return. Like, Thor will return. Shang-Chi versus Gambit. Who do you think's winning that fight?
Surely Shang-Chi. I mean, look,
What?
he's the better
Whoa, I'm a
fighter,
Gambit.
and they're going to hand-to-hand combat.
It really
Whoa,
depends.
what do you mean,
He's
Gambit?
about to make a name for himself.
Yeah, on a grave.
Well, he's already made a name
He
for himself.
fights
That's how. Yeah, that's how he made a name for
But
himself.
yeah.
Was getting in Doomsday. To be fair.
Hand-to-hand combat. Yeah. I don't think hand-to-hand combat is gonna. He might be good at hand-to-hand combat, but he's not better than Shang-Chi.
All right. I mean, nobody said it was hand to
With
hand.
the
I'm pretty
ring.
sure I saw a staff in that trailer. And also, what's stopping him from exploding his hands?
You saw it in the trailer.
We had Thor versus
Close
Doom. We had
combat.
a
Well,
quick
maybe not hand-to-hand,
snippet
but
there.
close combat.
But yeah, I definitely
Why would he
don't
do
think
that to
Thor's
himself?
seen his face. But yeah, Loki gets shown on the miracle line.
Yeah.
Well, just
I feel like
before.
this
I feel like
Cap's
Cat was the
What do you mean by
miracle.
you don't think Thor's seen his face?
You don't what? Yeah, I don't think Thor's seen Doom's face to see that it looks like. I don't know if that's going to be a plot point. I feel like it's got to be a plot point. Like, why would you go back to cast Iron Man without it being a plot point?
Yeah,
Because
there
there
are
is
people that would be really good at playing Doom, unless you've got a specific reason to continue
remember if
using
there's-
the Iron Man actor.
I can't remember if there's one or multiple storylines where Doom stole Tony's face as well. I know there's definitely one, 100%, but I don't know if there's more.
Yeah, I know about one of them. It's probably the same one. Where
What,
like
where
they
they're
ended
roommates?
up going to the same university. Yeah, they ended up going to the same
Yeah.
university together, and he tampers with his machine.
Not only that, though, if we think back to Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, obviously Illuminati play a major part in the Secret Wars, and so to not see either Iron Man or like, because there was loads of rumors about it being Tom Cruise as Iron Man, but then Iron Man doesn't get shown at all, and so maybe that Iron Man from that universe, whatever happened to him, he was taken by Doctor Doom, or like his body was taken by Doom. Captain America is still worthy on Thor. We're gonna need a miracle. So who do we? I
One of the
definitely
things-
think Patrick Stewart's Professor X and who plays Magneto?
Ian McKellen.
Ian McKellen. Yeah, I definitely think they're not making out of this. I don't think they want to. I think they want to go out in one big hurrah. I mean, I did see something about Ian McKellen saying that he wanted to do his stunts for Doomsday as well. He didn't want a stunt double. So it clearly is a big, like, finale fight scene where he goes out in a blaze of glory. Any predictions on? Yeah,
I
that's
want to
true.
do that.
No, yeah, I can't see them bringing Apocalypse in. Even though Apocalypse is in Secret Wars, there is plenty of people to go around and plenty of characters that could appear.
It's a big thing in X-Men 97 as well. And I imagine that the people that make in Doomsday would be able to find out what the schedule for X-Men 97 is, to find out what they're doing. And that's how they could even be using the fact that they might not even, what you would call it, use the X-Men 97. That's everyone's introduction to the X-Men. Instead of using all of this like composition, all of these stuff to be able to get like background or backstory on these new characters that we haven't seen in live action.
No, I don't think they're gonna do. I think I've already seen some stuff about who's directing the new X-Men movies, and they're gonna do some of the more like uncanny storylines, New Mutant storylines, like less traditional because they've got X-Men 97 to go over like the traditional like X-Men storylines, even though that's got its own comic book that it adapts from. But yeah, I don't think Thor's making it out alive. I don't think Loki's making it out alive. Obviously, Chris Hemsworth. It was like a year ago now, maybe 2 years ago, which would also line up to the last filming of Doomsday. Makes me believe that he's gonna pass off the mantle because he did put like a farewell video recapping all of his time in the MCU, not like acting, just in his time in the MCU, which is a shame. Kind of, oh, you're right, Tony, or should I say Doom? You know he's spying on us, imposter. But yeah, who do you think's gonna die? So I'm clearly, I feel like this is the no-brainer, which is like Thor, Loki, Professor X, Magneto.
I think they're all gonna die.
Yeah, I think they're dead in Doomsday. Yeah, for
Can't
sure.
imagine
I think
Thor
Doom kills them. Yeah, I mean Thor does have a part to
He'd
play
end
in
up-
Secret Wars. There is something called
I mean,
the
Thor's just got
Thor
part to play
Core.
in the bigger universe in general. Like he has, Odin's passed away. He has the Odin Force now. It's now the Thor Force.
Yeah, and
Like,
in the
if
secret
he wanted to, he could do every single thing that Odin can do. So when Doom destroys the universe, he could wave his hand and put it all back, which is literally what Odin does. He ends up
in
just waiting.
Secret Wars,
for
there
a
is
guy, and then
there is the Thor Core, which play a major part in Secret Wars. However, if you're saying that you think Thor's not going to die, I'm saying that I think Thor's going to die based on the Chris Hemsworth post. It could just be like to throw
Okay.
you off, or just him saying that he's grateful for how many years he's played the character. But I'm going to say
Thor
he's dead.
I don't think Thor himself should die. Maybe he passes on the mountain, some other actor plays him, but Thor
Yeah, I
himself,
mean, after Battle
leading
Worlds, there could
Asgard,
be another
he-
Thor.
doesn't he go off? He does his own thing, like actually being in charge of Asgard, like
Yeah, I
leading
mean,
the Avengers and stuff. He just goes and actually does his kingly duties.
like I said, refinement. You know,
All
after
the
Battle
time.
World, the whole universe gets reset. Like most timelines, the timelines that were destroyed are either recreated or lost. Whatever could happen. But what about you? Did you think there's any characters that are gonna die? Like I can't see, you know, the Nightcrawler from the old X-Men. Like, do you agree that Professor X and Mag are gone? Like Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart.
I can see it happening for sure, definitely.
Yeah, and like after Battle
They're
World, it'll
close.
make way for.
Acting. They're close to ending their acting careers anyway, and this
Yeah.
is probably one of the biggest, apart from Ian
Paychecks.
McKellen, Ian Gandalf again.
I mean, Ian McKellen. It's hard to say if he'd ever quit acting because he just has such a love for it that it's just part of him at this point. And also, he did start his acting career fairly late. I think it was in his like 60s. Like he was acting way before, but he just didn't get noticed until. Yeah, so he became famous in the late 1990s, the early 2000s. 61. That's when Ian McKellen became famous with his roles in X-Men and Lord of the Rings.
Those were his first
So-
popular
Yeah.
role.
So this is his first famous role, and it might be his farewell goodbye. No wonder he wanted to do stunts when he went out. Hugh Jackman. Do you think we'll see him? I feel like we'll see Hugh Jackman either in Doomsday or Secret Wars. I don't know. Do you think we'll see him as a combo? I think we'll see Deadpool and Wolverine as like a combination, especially Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman.
They'll definitely try to capitalize. I feel like it'll be a missed opportunity for them not to capitalize on the success of Deadpool and Wolverine.
No, exactly. Like, I don't know what Ryan Reynolds wants to do with the role. He definitely said he's not making any more Deadpool like movies. He wanted the trilogy, and he's got the trilogy. It's done now. So obviously, he said he's more than happy to reappear. I don't know if he'll maintain the role after Secret Wars, or if they'll find a sort of like a loophole to have two different Daredevils. Still Lemon there. He usually mixes up Deadpool and Daredevil.
I think maybe some of the because they've only just introduced them, but I was going to say maybe some of the Thunderbolts.
I don't think Chris Evans and Sebastian Stan are gonna Captain America taking Thor's place in Secret Wars, and he gets imbued with the power of Thor, based on that's what I mean. Like you said, the Thor Force. It's now the Thor Force, but if the Thor Force is linked to anything, it's Mjolnir or Stormbreaker.
But it's a thing that's been passed down from each whatchamacallit, like.
Yeah, and who's to say
Odin's
that?
Father passed it down to Odin. Odin passed it down to Thor, and that'll
Yeah,
keep
but
going.
surely
Thor
someone.
has a child, Frood, and then pass it, or Magni or Modi, either one of those, and then they'll pass down to that.
Surely
it's
somebody's.
not based on Mjolnir. Mjolnir was created by
he can give
someone else.
He could give the Thor Force to somebody that's worthy.
I don't know. Maybe. I wonder how
Yeah,
it
but
works. Like, if you can only give it to his line,
yeah,
because
but the
obviously
MCU.
Mjolnir, anybody can be worthy, but Mjolnir doesn't hold the Odin Force within it. It just holds the
Yeah.
power of Thor.
Well, see, the thing is
Odin
about the
imbued it
MCU.
with Thor's power before Odin died, before he could pass on the Odin Force to him, and before it became the Thor Force.
But see, the thing
But
is about
now,
the
if
MCU.
Thor
Come
wanted
on,
to,
I'm saying the thing is about the MCU is they like to take comic book storylines and real life and like real world scientists and create their own little adapted. Like if you remember some of the film theories that we used to watch, there's a lot of science. Okay, well I guess we'll move on from like this. The audio is great, the suspenseful building. So end of the X-Men universe. So that's gonna get rebooted for the MCU. I don't know. I feel like there will be some X-Men that make it through to Secret Wars, 100%. Like, why would they introduce Gambit? Just kill him off with Channing Tatum. I think, yeah, I think whatever happens to Loki and Thor, they're gonna go out together with a bang. Because if you remember, Tom Hiddleston also said he would not be coming back to the Marvel Universe after his series concluded. But money and
yeah,
the fact that his character was still alive left the door open, and I think he left the door open to reappear on screen with Chris Hemsworth. I think that's the only reason why he was so satisfied with that ending. Is that he probably said to himself is that if my Loki is to go out, I want him to go out with the Thor he was introduced with. And I think the same goes for Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen.
something that I thought of, by the way, Loki. He's now the god of stories, isn't he? So what if, and so he's at a pretty high power level. What if he has, it's not actually Captain America. He's just like pretending to be Steve Rogers.
So, I mean, we already got announced that
We've
Steve
got
Rogers is returning. He wouldn't be able to carry
Steve Rogers is
the.
like Captain
I mean,
America.
Loki could be worthy after what he went through in the TV show
That's
to
what I'm
hold
saying.
Mjolnir, but I don't think they would have done that. I think Loki will appear.
A callback from the first
First.
Avengers.
The Beyonder is a massive part of Secret Wars, and to not have him in it would be very far from the source material. And obviously, they do want to keep us guessing, so if they
Civil War
didn't,
had a lot of that as well, stuff away from the source material.
and they are directed by the same people. The Russos are both directing Doomsday and Secret Wars, and they directed Civil War.
Yeah.
But if we were to see the Beyonder, who would you want cast? There's a lot of fan casting for Henry Cavill as the Beyonder. However, we have already seen him as like a variation of Wolverine. Obviously, we have seen other characters show up in the Marvel Universe and then go on to the different roles. Like, who's the actor who's in Punisher? There's a character in the Punisher TV show that is who also plays Ben Grimm in the new Fantastic Four. His name is Ebon Moss Baccarat, and he's actually a chef. He's in The Bear, which is one of my favorite like shows. But who does he play? He's very close friends with John Bernthal as well. Like that, even in so he plays Microchip in Punisher. Who would you cast for the Beyonder? I don't know. I don't know if we would go based on star power or acting ability, because the Beyonder is a cosmic being created by the Beyonders.
I feel like it has
but
to
we
be
haven't
acting
even seen the
ability.
Beyonders.
There are good, wouldn't it? In fact, it doesn't have to be. I mean, technically, it has to be good acting ability, but it doesn't mean that you can't use good star quality. There are good actors out there who are really famous.
But they can change him to be any age. That's the thing, like.
Because he had like a bit of a. I could see him, Henry Cavill doing that.
Yeah, Lawrence Fishburne. He voices the Beyonder in the Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur TV show. But Lawrence Fishburne has also been in Ant-Man and he played Goliath, so they wouldn't be able to cast him. Also, he just doesn't fit. I mean, like say typecast, it doesn't really exist in the MCU more than happy to change like origin and stuff. And I think Invincible really opened up the door to that. Is that it should be based on acting ability and whose personality fits the character the most, rather than who looks more like a drawing. See, it's hard to say because there's some actors in Hollywood that just wouldn't want to work with Marvel. We could see the return of Kang, but after all the lawsuit stuff that happened.
Tony Stark.
This is a controversial one. A good Beyonder would be David Cornsweet, the DCU's Superman.
I mean, I had a couple of thoughts like that,
Controversial
but then I
though.
thought that, like, obviously they won't do it because they're working with DC at the moment,
100%.
so they
If
kind of can't.
anyone, they were to do it based on star power / acting ability, I could see Jacob Elordi playing the Beyonder as well. Could
Yeah.
we see the Illuminati or the Cabal? How much do you know about the Illuminati and the Cabal?
I don't know too much about the Illuminati other than the people that the
Yeah.
Cabal. Is that Red Skull? Well, not Namor. There's another dude.
Namor is part of the Cabal.
There's someone else in the animated show that I've been watching. The Cabal is in it, and there's Red Skull who's like leading it basically. I think Modok is part of it, and some other fish guy that's not
Oh yeah, Emma Frost
Namor.
is part of it.
Yeah, it's quite different than from the show that I was watching. Probably don't know much about the one that they're on about.
Yeah, it's basically the opposite of the Illuminati. So I don't think we will see the Cabal. I think it will just be like the Illuminati versus Doom, if anything. Could we see Beyonders? Yeah, unless we get the Beyonder, I don't think we'll see any of the Beyonders. Do you think that Cyclops would be like? I think the only reason why they probably kept Cyclops and they've got in front page is because I can see him taking the Phoenix Force. Like maybe Doom kills Jean and then he takes the Phoenix Force after that, and he's on a mission of vengeance.
Yeah, that could make sense. I could see them doing that.
Yeah. So do you think we'll see God Doom in the second movie? Like, you think this Doomsday film will be the rise of God Doom?
If they're introducing him as such a high powered villain.
Going back to the Cabal, though, obviously one of the big parts of the Cabal in Secret Wars is the Maker. So do you think that we'll see either Miles Teller or Ion Grufford? Ion Grufford? I don't know how to pronounce his name, but from the first Fantastic Four films. Who would you prefer? Do you think you'd like to see Miles Teller come back as the Maker?
I mean, the Maker normally looks exactly like Reed Richards. I assume that they'd probably end up using just the same actor.
But it's MCU-ified, so if you look back to Deadpool and Wolverine when we're going through the different galaxies and stuff, not every we had Wolverine that looked like Henry Cavill. We had all the different variations of Deadpool played by different characters other than Reynolds. So it isn't out of the realms of possibility, especially with how big and uncertain the end of the Fantastic movie was, mainly because it was trash. But it left it very open ended, and like if it was that bad, they could just make that entire universe null and void, and the only thing that comes out of it is Miles Teller's the Maker.
Yeah.
Will Battle World be a combo of every? I don't know. I don't know how they'll do Battle World, like fresh, where it's like all these different universes, where it's like new stuff, or is Battle World going to be a combination of every MCU project or like every Marvel film that we've seen in the past? Like, there's loads of rumors about Ben Affleck's Daredevil coming back and stuff like that. Like, even Battle World could be a combination of stuff like that from Fox.
Potentially, yeah. They definitely, like you say, it opens the door to. Or with how large the cast is, it wouldn't surprise me if they've left a few people out, just because, and just to like have some throwaway lines in there, throwaway scenes, callbacks, or references to things that they're gonna try and projects that they're gonna try and do in the future.
Yeah, I think it is a way of
as like an introduction for all of these other smaller characters that haven't actually been seen in live action yet, so that when they move on to the next project, they've got the Avengers Doomsday was the introduction for those characters already.
Yeah.
You don't need to worry about an introduction in the newer project.
But see, that's the thing about adding new stuff is the whole idea of Battle World is for it to be destroyed and dissolved. Like, that's what happens in Secret Wars, and that's probably what they want for the MCU. I think there'll be older stuff with newer stuff.
Sitarak involved in this. Is Sitarak are all involved in this? Like, doesn't he? Because the world gets remade, and then you see there's like an open door.
Maybe he might have been thinking of a comic line that came after Secret Wars. I feel sorry for Reed Richards in this story, because not only does he have to have Doom, try and take his wife and his like entire family in Secret Wars, but you've also got the introduction of Namor meeting Susan Storm. So bro's got it tough. Everyone's gonna be after his girl.
Namor's not exactly. The only real issue is Doom and the fact that he's got the power. Literally, he does have the power to take his wife from her. from him.
Yeah, and just change the entire universe.
Whereas
Do you think
Namor,
the
he kind of
Watcher?
can't.
Do you think the what? Because there is a link to Secret Wars where there is a Marvel zombie appearance. They use the Marvel zombie universe in order to do something within Secret Wars. If you want to know about it, go check out the comic. Essentially, we got the view of not only did we get Marvel zombies appearing like kind of in Multiverse of Madness, not only have we had a multiple what if storylines, we also got a Marvel Zombies TV show. So that makes me believe that it's not just for Halloween. It's 2 for 1. It's like they do it for Halloween as well as get it ready for the Secret Wars.
So it's kind of like it's a bit more normalized to the public if they've already seen all these other Marvel zombie stuff.
And then it also makes me think that the Watcher might replace the Beyonders in this storyline, just because they made him more of a well-known character to the audience. Galactus is used by Doom in the Secret Wars storyline. So in the Fantastic Four film, Galactus gets sent somewhere unknown, and that makes me think that maybe that's what brings their attention in the first place. Because Franklin is also taken the film as well by Doom.
Yeah, that makes sense because Franklin can do that. Franklin has like reality warping powers.
To create a battle world. But yeah, we talked about the trailer, what we've seen. We talked about the comic book storyline. Vin Diesel is going to be Doom's World Tree. Will Doom steal Reed's family? Probably. I don't think Spider-Man's going to appear in Doomsday based on them both being released in the same day. I think he might make a cameo leading up to Secret Wars. Do you think he's going to get the symbiote suit in Secret Wars?
He might.
Yeah.
I mean, he might get it in Brand New Day, don't you think? In that case, he'll have it in Secret Wars.
No, I mean,
it might be a thing where he realizes that he can't wear the suit because it like makes him all upset and angry and angsty teenager.
Yeah, it could be a hurdle.
When it comes to Avengers Doomsday, he ends up realizing that he's got to try and get on with the symbiote.
Yeah, well, in the Secret Wars storyline, Beyonder forces the symbiote onto Peter Parker, which gives him that like extra edge. Yeah. All right, I guess we'll leave this with the biggest debate of all. Is there superhero fatigue leading up to Doomsday? Do you think it's going to perform like every other Marvel movie now that they've got the Russos back and now they're doing a big Avengers project? Or do you think it's going to be more of the same? Do you think that people, because like there was a lot of empty seats for Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four, like even though these were good films, like I thoroughly enjoyed them. I thought they were well made. Like they could have been films to stand on their own. But because that kind of the IP is like with the TV shows, it's kind of let people down. Do you think it's not going to perform?
It looks really good. When I watched the trailer, it got me excited again, like it did with the old Avengers movies when they were coming out and stuff like that. But because of what they've been doing recently, ever since Endgame, they've just not been able to hold a candle to anything they've done previously. Yeah. Loki was probably the best thing they've done, and that, even at moments, was a little bit lackluster. And it seemed like with most of them, they weren't even trying to make any good stories. They were just capitalizing off the fact that these characters are still fresh in people's minds. Like the Winter Soldier TV show.
I think they got greedy.
That just didn't live up to any expectation. I don't even know what they even planned to do with that. It just sort of, the main thing about that seemed to be the, almost like setting up Thunderbolts with John Walker and stuff.
Have you seen
Thunderbolts? That was the main thing to do with the whole TV show. I've still not seen it actually, but it's got good reviews on it.
Yeah, I think you should check them out before, just because I think you'll be able to form a non-biased opinion now that they've kind of been out for a while as well.
Oh no, just because John Walker's obviously in it. He's in Thunderbolts. He's in the Winter Soldier TV show.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't see much point of having that Winter Soldier TV show. After watching it, it didn't really. I don't know.
I didn't watch Captain America 4 either.
Yeah.
I felt like just getting Harrison Ford on board as Red Hulk just felt like it just kind of it was a bit. It did spoil it.
Being in the movie as well.
Yeah, and not only that.
Said that thing about. Did you hear about that? What the advertisement scene said that they were originally going to keep it as a secret and it'd be a big reveal, and then at the last minute they decided to put him in the trailers so that everybody would actually go and watch the movie.
Yeah, no, that's true. But the only thing that really annoyed me about Captain America 4, and the only reason I think I did watch it, or I tried to watch it, and I just couldn't get through it, is just because Jonathan Ross isn't in charge of the Thunderbolts, and that's another big comic book change. And see, this
They've
is the
done
thing
so many
though, is
disappointing
that
things
the more
since
they turn
Endgame.
away from the comic and the source material, the less they're able to do. Is that like when you just ignore what you're adapting your film from, I feel like you shoot yourself in the foot because you're not capitalizing on every single opportunity that you can use to make your movie great. Is that if you're not using the entire foundation, how are you supposed to build anything substantial?
They have so many. If they even looked on Reddit posts and stuff to be able to find out what fans' favorite moments are of these comics, then they would know which bits are probably all right to take out, which bits would definitely be needed to be kept in. And it seems like they're not actually paying attention to the fan base when they're making a lot of these projects.
And it is a tough thing to do because you don't know if it's the writers, you don't know if it's the like production team and the director, you don't even know if it's the post production, like the edits, just like cutting a lot of stuff that was filmed out just to make a more linear storyline. There is so many different like factors that could take away from it being true
Yeah.
to its source material. Could we see Thanos? Could we see like John?
If we're getting God Emperor Doom, I feel like it's a missed opportunity to do Thanos. Because there's
Yeah,
that
but
massive epic scene where he just rips his spine out from him
see,
from his
but I think
body.
that could be a good opening for Secret
And
Wars
that yeah, because
after
that doesn't even
them.
kill Thanos either.
So I think it'd be a good opening to just kind of set Thanos on his trail, and because we
Yeah,
might be able to see more of the children of Thanos as well.
yeah,
Star Lord
that could get
has,
Thanos.
yeah, and it
Obviously,
also
if
makes
whatever
sense to
Doom rips his spine out, then Thanos goes into whatever realm he goes into because he's banished by Mistress Death from the realm of the dead.
because Secret Wars does have a lot of Guardians of the Galaxy. Like they might save the Guardians to like open it up with Thanos. Then Thanos kind of links into the Guardians
Yeah, the
in a
Guardians is
different
expanded
way.
now, aren't they?
Well, no,
Rocket being the leader of it and stuff. I thought they've like
yeah.
it's been expanded into a much larger team and stuff. And isn't Guardians do turn into a larger galactic-based team? I suppose.
Yeah, that's true.
Pretty
But we
sure.
we also at the same time, and obviously I don't think Drax might not be returning as well. Like Dave Bautista said that was last time they'd be playing Drax.
Yeah,
But
that's him.
you also got to think that if we're gonna see Thanos, but Thanos has already been eliminated in our universe, maybe we're gonna see a Thanos from a different universe, therefore getting a different Guardians team as well.
Yeah, yeah, that could be right. That could be right.
See, it's hard to make predictions when it comes to this film, just because there's just so many possibilities
Isn't
where
it?
it's like you got to think if you look at the different universes that have already been made outside the MCU, then that just opens up the doors to doing different iterations and different styles of characters that we've already seen before.
Yeah, I mean, unless they end up subverting expectations,
Yeah.
Marvel have a formula, and you can predict some of the things that are probably going to happen. And obviously, that's going to become easier when you're watching the actual movie as it happens.
Yeah.
But
Like the
there are
Russos
some
has
things
already
that are
made.
probably predictable. And one of the things I definitely like about the trailer is that none of the story has been seen. It's just character introduction, character introduction, character introduction. You're just seeing all of basically who's going to be in the movie. You don't actually see any major plot points at all.
And that's the good thing is that Russos know to keep the cards close to their chest. Like even the like they've sent us into a frenzy and subverted expectations by casting Robert Downey Jr. as Doom. Like that's just something that's not in Secret Wars, and like Doom wearing, because Doom's face is just still fucked up in Secret Wars. I mean, it still could be fucked up as Robert Downey Jr., but the fact that we are
There are
seeing
some,
Iron Man play Doom
yeah,
is already
there
subverted.
are some, there are some storylines. I think the main original storyline was that Doom didn't have a disfigured face completely. He just had like a scratch on his face, but because he's so egotistical and he has the whole thing about being a perfect version of himself at all times. That's why he
Yeah.
wears the mask, but no one can see that slight imperfection on his face. But then obviously there is the much more hardcore version where he's just got a completely disfigured face. I like both of them. Whichever version happens, I like both. And because it's using Robert Downey Jr., that makes me think that they'll use his face
apart from that, I don't know what to expect. And yeah, the trailers left a lot for the imagination. All we know is that the key players are going to be Fantastic Four, X-Men, and Avengers, and which is not something we see a lot of in the MCU or in Marvel in general, or seen a lot of. And it's such a prominent aspect of the comics that we're finally getting to see in the MCU. And I think
Yeah,
that's what's brought me like talking about Secret Wars so much and all the different
yeah,
possibilities that it provides, is that we're finally seeing like some of the big players in the Marvel comics all in the same film together, and it's like I saw a Hugh Jackman reel where he's talking about like
yeah.
maybe
No,
one
I know.
day. Stay tuned for Spider-Man 4 and Brand New Day and X-Men 97 Season 2. We were going to get into that, but we just had so much to talk about with Doomsday, and obviously this isn't the usual tank talk formula. We wanted to talk about the map as well. The map, it's really hard to push on, really easy to defend with. Dive is just so prominent with all the little like high holes that are in it. I like the cargo. The cargo looks pretty cool. It's very sleek, very
I
easy to
still
get
haven't
around.
got used to all those little quicksand teleportation pips.
And the little the little sand tornadoes as well. Do you think we'll get Apocalypse as a character eventually, or is there any X-Men that you want to definitely see before?
I can see them adding more X-Men before Apocalypse because he's such a big, grand villain. They're probably gonna
Yeah.
be, and they haven't added any of the just big, grand villains just on a while now.
See, are you getting fed up of X-Men Rivals because you think last season, season 8, Alchemax,
Oh,
Cyclops?
thing is,
Yeah,
my
first.
favorite characters in Marvel are all already in the game.
No,
Every
that's
single
true.
of the characters is just like, yay, more characters to play with. The only
No,
issue I have with the new characters is when they add multiple DPS when there's already too many. Not too many, when there's already loads of DPS. There's not
yeah.
too many. We need more, but we need way more tanks and strategists first to balance out.
I guess
Really.
that'll we'll keep it short and sweet on the Rivals talk. The team ups have created a weird dynamic that a lot of people are able to be a bit more self sufficient, but be careful what you wish for because now even more so people are working less together in a team based game, which is you love to see it. Obviously it's free to play, so no one's expected to look out for their fellow teammate. It's different. It's different for every game. You get some people that are trying and some people that expect different things from their team. So it's a hard thing to keep coordinated at all times. Not much to talk about rivals wise. Loads to talk about Marvel MCU wise. Catch you in the next one. Excelsior.
Excelsior!